This video is designed to assist with the installation instructions for ASTA 400 and 600 series rolling steel doors. ASTA models 400 and 600 are available in sizes of 3x6 to 30x30. The models 400 and 600 are best used for industrial and commercial applications. The 400 and 600 are available in 18 to 24 gauge steel. This video is designed to assist a professional in the installation of ASTA 400 and 600 series rolling steel doors. Before getting started, inspect all of the shipped parts and account for everything before commencing any work. For questions and technical assistance, contact ASTA customer support at 770-974-2600. Use correct lifting procedures and equipment during installation of this product to avoid injury or damage. Do not use forklifts or genie lifts with unprotected arms or forks. This can cause irreparable damage to the door curtain. No guarantee will be given or responsibility accepted by the manufacturer if the door is not installed as instructed. For proper operation, follow the instructions as given and review all of the steps before beginning. Verify the opening width and height match the door you are preparing to install. Check if the door jambs are plumb. Check if the floor and header are level. Verify you have proper headroom and sideroom clearances. If you are not sure if you have sufficient headroom and sideroom clearances, request a shop drawing, as clearance requirements change by different factors, including size of door, slat profile, slat gauge, operation, installation design, and wind load requirements. The wall angles in step number 2 must be installed plumb and level to each other, even if the jamb is not plumb and the floor is sloped. The vertical X dimension includes the head plate dimension above the header and the upset dimension that allows gradual entrance of the curtain into the top of the guide channels. The X dimension could also include a Z dimension, which provides clearance for motor operators mounted vertical in front of the hood. The horizontal V dimension is the head plate projection for the wall into the room. The V dimension is the bracket plate projection into the room and does not include the motor projection into the room. Use these dimensions for belt motor clearances. Use these dimensions for gearhead motor clearances. Take the thickness of the wall angle times 2, then add that to the W dimension to give you back of wall angle to back of wall angle. Evenly space the wall angles outside of the opening so that the distance between the wall angles is as shown. Fasten the wall angles to the jambs according to the following table. For wind load certified doors, always refer to the sealed wind load drawings for specific anchor type and correct anchor placements. Fit the drive side head plate onto the drive side of the axle assembly. The drive end of the barrel assembly does not have an axle bearing and does not have a counterbalance spring. The drive side head plate has a ball bearing for the axle to pass through. Fit the tension side of the head plate onto the spring tension barrel assembly. The spring end of the barrel assembly has an axle bearing and has a counterbalance spring. The spring side head plate does not have a ball bearing. Fit the tension wheel onto the spring axle end and insert the key stock fully into the axle keyway and tension wheel keyway. Do not insert the locking pin or tighten the set screw at this time. The key stock must be completely inserted into the tension wheel or damage and injury could occur. The left end of the barrel assembly is always painted red, regardless of whether it is the drive side or the spring tension side. Fasten the drive assembly onto the drive side headplate with 2 half-inch flat head bolts, flat washers, lock washers, and nuts provided. Do not tighten at this time. Fit the driven sprocket onto the drive axle. Do not insert the key stock into the keyway or tighten the set screw at this time. Slide the headplate up against the barrel spacer and align the driven sprocket with the drive sprocket. Install the roller chain around the drive sprocket and the driven sprocket. Secure with a master link provided. Insert the key stock completely into the axle keyway and the driven sprocket keyway. Next, remove the plugs from the starter bar. Raise the complete barrel assembly with a mechanical hoist or with a forklift and fasten the head plates to the inside of the wall angles with half-inch bolts, lock washers, flat washers, and nuts provided. Use the flathead bolts where countersunk holes are found. Install the hand chain and adjust the length so that it hangs between 1 to 2 feet from the ground. Install the hand chain latch approximately 4 feet from the ground and attach to the guide. Remove one of the existing bolts from the guide and use that bolt to attach the hand chain latch to the guide. Space the pipe equally between the head plates. Align the drive sprocket and the driven sprocket again. Adjust the chain tensioner assembly to minimize slack in the roller chain and fasten bolts securely. Tighten the driven sprocket set screw. Adjust the position of the tension wheel on the spring axle to within 1/4 inch of the head plate and tighten the set screw. Do not insert the pin in the tension wheel at this time. Cut the plastic, but do not cut the bands at this time. Raise the curtain assembly with a mechanical hoist or a forklift. Use padding on the lifting mechanism to avoid damaging the curtain and hang the curtain onto the barrel assembly with installation belts. After the curtain is secure, then cut the bands. Hook the starter slats onto the attachment starter bars and fasten with the 5/16, 18th by 1/2 inch bolts and flat washers provided. Pull the handshank to roll the curtain onto the barrel assembly while assisting the tension wheel to rotate freely. Secure the handshank to the chain keeper so the curtain will not uncoil during the tensioning procedure. Keep the curtain close to the wall and away from the hood bands. Keep the installation belts in place until proper tension has been applied. Maintain equal spacing between the in-lock or windlock on the interior side of each head plate. First, remove the retainer clip. Apply the appropriate turns of tension to the tension wheel by alternately pulling down on the steel bar and inserting the pin. Test the door and adjust the tension as needed for proper curtain balance. Apply more or less tension in 1/8 inch turn increments. Once tensioning is complete, replace the retainer clip to secure the tension pin. Lower the curtain into the guide channels until the bottom bar is approximately 6 inches below where the headstop attach to the inner angle and resecure the hand chain. Attach headstops to both inner guide angles using two 5/16 by 5/8 inch hex head bolts and 5/16 lock washers. The hood support brackets are required for doors wider than 12 feet. Hood support brackets should be spaced at every 12-foot span. If the provided hood is in 2 or more pieces, then overlap the pieces so that the combined hood length is equal to the measured distance between the installed head plates. Fasten the overlapped areas together with 2 rows of Tek screws on each flat section. Raise the hood and use a mechanical hoist or forklift if needed. Wrap the hood around the hood bands on the head plates and then fasten the hood to the head plate bands. Then fasten the hood lip to the wall or wall structure above the header. Fasten the hood to the head plates at locations A with 1/4 inch self-tapping screws. Fasten the hood lip to the wall above the header at locations B. Hoods over 16 feet long require another fastener at location C and when hood support brackets are supplied. Installed at locations B or C as needed. Fasten the hood to the brackets at location D. Hood support brackets are provided to achieve a maximum span between supports of 8 feet. Hoods over 16 feet long require another fastener at location C. Avoid damage to the curtain and do not substitute 1/4 inch self-tapping screws with longer self-tapping screws. The hood lip is always turned up unless instructed to have it turned down to help minimize the headroom requirements. Remove the bolts at locations A and B for factory-prepared doors. If not factory prepared, remove the existing bolts and drill 5/16 holes at specified locations. Align the slide lock and steel cover with holes. Fasten the slide lock mechanism with the supplied hardened steel carriage bolts. For extra security, welding the cover to the bottom angle is recommended. Attach the PVC guide weather seal to the outer angle. If the guide weather seal is ordered from the factory, the bottom bar will be notched to accommodate the weather seal on the exterior outer angle. If the guide weather seal is added to the door at a later time, the bottom bar may need to be notched in the field an additional 1 inch per side to accommodate the guide weather seal. Check the width and height of the opening. Check if the jambs are plumb. Check if the floor and the header are level. The between jamb angles must be installed plumb and level to each other, even if the jambs are not plumb and the floor is sloped. Evenly space the wall angles inside of the opening so that the distance between them is as shown in the between jamb guide dimension table. Guide Type 2 has an A dimension of 6 inches. The clear opening will be a result of the rough opening width dimension less the required space for the packout and guide angles. For example, a 10-foot wide rough opening with Type 2 guides requires 12 inches for packout and guide angles, 6 inches at each jamb, leaving a clear opening width dimension of 9 foot 0 inches. For a between jamb application, always provide the following information. Provide the rough opening dimensions, which is from jamb to jamb and from floor to header. For between jamb installs, please provide rough opening dimensions and consider the following. If the coil mounting is below the header or mounting to the face of the header, if a hood is required, if a fascia is required. Door curtain drags in the guides. Make sure the correct dimension is used to set the wall angles. The measurement should run from inside of wall angle over to inside of the opposite wall angle. Check the wall angles and guides are plumb and level. Check guides for foreign matter, dirt, etc. Check for damaged guides. Check to verify the barrel assembly is centered between the head plates. Check to verify the curtain is centered on the barrel assembly. Door operates hard in one direction. Check all the above points. Chain jumps off a chain gear. On electric operated doors or chain hoist operated doors, check for sprocket alignment and proper chain size. Door does not contact floor level. Use a spirit level to check whether the door or the floor is out of level. If the door is out of level, take the door down and start over. If the floor is out of level, you may need a sloped bottom bar to cover the gap. Do not stand or walk under a moving door. Keep the door in full view and free of obstructions while operating. Do not allow children to operate the door. Repairs or adjustments should be made by a trained service person using proper tools and instructions. To avoid injury, do not put fingers between the door and the guides. Read the owner's manual for your door for more information. If you have followed these instructions, you should have successfully installed an ASTA Model 400 or 600 series rolling steel door. If you are in need of technical assistance, contact ASTA Customer Support at 770-974-2600.